I need to replace my 27-year-old toilet, but first I need to replace my 27-year-old supply line valve. If I try to turn this off right now, it probably will not stop the water, and it might even just go ahead and leak and start shooting water out all over my bathroom. So I'm going to turn off the water. I'm going to go ahead and remove that valve. I'm going to replace this solid copper supply line with a flexible tubing supply line, which is what we usually use for toilets in the US these days. So I'm in my basement. I'm down at my water main. This is the only lighting I have. Here's how I turn off the water to my house, or my interior water, I guess. So I'm just going to sit and turn it all the way off. Now, just turning the water off is not going to be enough, because I'm also going to go ahead and open up one or two of the lowest sinks in the house. I'll show you why in a second. Turn that off right there. Okay, so now that I've turned off the water, the problem is this. All the pipes above me still have water in them. And if I were to go ahead and start working on the pipes, I might get water spurting out. So what I'm going to do, I have an old utility sink right here. I'm going to open it up. This is in my basement. It's an old utility sink. I'm turning it on. What's happening now is any water in that line is now coming down because there's no more pressure because I turned off the water. There's no more pressure pushing it up. So it's all slowly kind of coming down and dripping out of the sink. See? Now, what's going to happen is it'll eventually go ahead and stop or slow down to the point where there won't be any more pressure in any of the pipes, and then I'll go ahead and be able to start working on that valve upstairs. So there's still going to be water in this stem here. Probably still a little water in the toilet here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a towel down. And this holds this copper pipe into this valve. This is why I hate these hard copper fixtures, because there's very little play with them. There we go. I'm bending it here. I'm bending it up here. I can slowly pull it out. There we go. And there's no water. Okay. So I happen to have plenty of space here. So I'm going to use that. This is soldered on. It's really difficult for me to get off. So I'm just going to cut the pipe and put my new valve off of that. To cut the pipe, I'm going to use this. It's called an AutoCut. I'll put a link to it. They're great. You need to get them for the size that you need. This happens to be 1/2 inch. You put it on, and you just close it up. It kind of snaps closed. There we go. Now, all I do is I turn it. There's a little cutter wheel in there that is slowly cutting the pipe. In a moment. There we go, I can feel it. Popped right off. It's a nice clean cut, very straight. Okay, I have a little bit of water dripping out. I'm going to take these two things off here as well. I have a corroded plastic plate, and I don't even know what the heck this is. They put little pieces of, this is actually from molding they paint and put on here. I guess just to cover up the drywall hole. I'm going to forget about that. I'm going to put a SharkBite end on here. And for a SharkBite end to work, the pipe has to be clean and the cut should be clean. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of these things. This is a little, I'll link to it down below, but it basically allows you to clean pipes. This end of it has a couple little spikes with blades. And what you do is you kind of put it on there and you turn it around and it deburrs the metal off the pipe, off the inside of the cut. A little squeaky, sorry. There's a couple little pieces there. The other side is just the opposite. It's got the blades on the outside, but when you put this on and you turn it, it deburrs on the outside of the pipe. It's better. You might be able to see it's a little shinier on the edge too. Still not quite perfect, because what I'm going to do now, get a little bit of aluminum oxide tape, sanding paper, whatever you want to do, and I'm going to just kind of do one of these all the way around. What I want you to look at here is that pipe end is now shiny, relatively flat and straight. There's no more solder stuck to it. The edges are relatively dull. I can actually touch it without slicing my finger, even though I just cut metal. That's what you want. You want something fairly clean. You use paper towel here, clean it up a little bit more. Okay. Now it's ready for a SharkBite end. This is the actual SharkBite valve I'm going to use. Right now I believe it's off. Here it is on. Okay, this top is I believe 3/8 for a regular toilet supply line, and then the back is 1/2 inch. This is a 1/2 inch pipe. I'm going to put it right on there in a second here. Now there's a little plastic ring. I'm going to put that off for now. I can put that on later. Okay. So here we are. My pipe is nice and clean. I have deburred it. It's a pretty straight cut, free of debris. My SharkBite will now just push to connect. I put it on, just kind of position it, and I just kind of push it on, and I can feel it kind of push on there, and I think that's probably pretty good. It went in pretty good. If I hold my pipe, the valve should not come off. It is now tight. And this is open and this is closed. So this should now be, it may spin, that's okay, that's how SharkBites work. I should now be able to turn the water on, and because my valve is closed, nothing should come out. I just turned my water all the way back on. Now, I didn't record that because I needed my phone. I was actually FaceTiming, talking to my son. So my son is upstairs in my 3rd floor bathroom, actually just kind of watching to make sure the valve held. And you may want to have a helper as well, someone to just watch and make sure that everything is nice and tight. And what I went ahead and did, I turned the water on slowly. I could hear the water running in. I kept asking him, how's it going? How's it going? He actually had his camera pointed at the valve. No leaks, no drips, nothing. So that means that that valve is tight. The SharkBite is on there nice and tight, and it's closed. I have done that before. I've installed a SharkBite, left it open, had water shooting at the top, but the SharkBite's installed, it's now closed, and the water's cut off up there. So that's great. Every water works everywhere else. So now I can go ahead and install that toilet and still have water to the house. There is that silver little sleeve that came with the SharkBite unit. That just kind of clicks on the top like that and kind of pushes in. So that's there, that's kind of nice. And then you can also do this. You can get metal ones of these. I typically go for these shiny plastic covers, but the way it works is you kind of snap them and you can kind of open them up. And because they're plastic, you can kind of bend. Let me see if I can get this one on the first try. There we go. And you kind of push it against there, and that looks reasonably okay. I should probably go ahead and cut the bottom off, the tile's in the way. I can smooth off the bottom and then put it back on, and I can push it against the wall, and it'll be nice and clean. So here we are with the brand new valve. The water is running in the rest of the house. There's not even a drip here. Again, the key is making sure that pipe is smooth and clean, deburred and cleaned of any excess. Make sure you put that SharkBite all the way on, and it clicks on. So now we're ready to go ahead and take the old toilet out and then install a new toilet with a brand new flexible supply line. And this is what will actually screw into that. These flexible supply lines are easier. They have screws and nuts, and they actually can bend, and you can replace them much more easier than that hard copper piece of pipe that you have to kind of just bend out of the way. This is awful. This is garbage. This is from 27 years ago. We're done with it. SharkBite is the way to go. So there you go. Simple project where you go ahead and replace an old 30-year-old toilet valve with a SharkBite valve, and then you can put a flexible hose on it, and it'll work great for a brand new toilet. If you like videos like this, by all means, please subscribe and like. I will go ahead and put a link down below to a little Amazon storefront that has all the tools that I used for this project. So you can go ahead and buy whatever you need from Amazon if you want. You don't have to, but they're there. Good luck with your project. If you have any questions or concerns, or you run into something, by all means, let me know. I will try to respond to you in the comments. I'm not always responding every day, but I do try to look at it at least once or twice a week and try to give anybody any help or assistance that I can.